All right, so I am doing a dugout watering hole. I've got a downhill slope. I'm going to be bringing my feeder cattle over here shortly. And what I'm going to do is I want a large water source. I don't want to rely on a float out here in a smaller water tank. So luckily this property has an old, has a well casing on it. With no pump in it. So I was able to hook up a 12 volt DC pump, submersible pump, about 50 feet down. This pump's got 240 feet of lift. Wasn't sure how far horizontally it would go, but it's the road's way up there. Right now I got 800 feet of pipe out, and it's pumping. And I'm gonna, I'll see. I thought there was more clay here. I started digging, and I did get into a fair amount of sand. So I'm not sure how well it will hold water. I can bring a liner over later. But we'll put a fence. I'll put some wire across this earth dam that I've got. So that'll help cheat it a little bit. As I dug, I shoveled everything over there, so it kind of will make a dam. I got some old rubber mats. I'll create a slope here. They can water from the side here, and from the side here I'll create a ramp. I'm going to have wire right here also going across it. And for right now, it's the first time I've ever used water pipe like this and ran water across land like this. So I'm going to run it one line of wire right along where this water line is, keep the cattle from messing with it. And we'll see how this works, rather than purchasing a water trough and it might not be big enough. And be an experiment. Might work, might not. I've done this around springs before, so I really don't know what the difference would be. I mean, it'd be nice if there's clay under there. I dug some post holes on the north side of this field, and I got about 3 feet down and hit a really hard pan of clay. So, I don't know though, with the sand on the sides, if that means the water's going to push out the sides and drain quick. But it's filling up right now. It's only been running about, I'd say, a half hour. That's pretty good fill rate. So it's been running here about 3 hours now, I guess. Maybe 2, I don't know. I lost track of time. So it's a foot deep, 1.5 feet in spots. It's not filled up to the rim yet. And then what I'll do is I'll kick it onto a timer after this. And my hope is to saturate the near surface enough through repetitive flooding that I've got a few hundred gallons of water in here all the time. Starting to take shape. Putting on my divider lines as well too. Over there and over there. Get them yearlings over here and do some training on them. Well, here's the next day. And I had set the timer up where this pumped water starting at 7 in the morning for an hour. And then it pumped at 10 in the morning till 11. And then it would have pumped again at 12 to 12:30. And then I think I got set up for another pumping this afternoon. My pump timer will pump. You could turn on and off 8 times. So I got some mats here. I'll show you some rubber mats. And that's what I'm going to lay down for an approach ramp right here. So I'll dig this out more like a ramp, a few more feet each way. Contribute that to my earthen dam here. See if there's seepage or wet soil here on this side of the dam. It seems sort of moist right here, but it's higher. It's higher today than it was yesterday right here. I'm wondering, you know, to keep the water clean, if I'm going to have flowing water or just keep adding water. Kind of just like a water tank. You know, have a spillway. We'll see how filled up this thing gets. Got a little bit down here as a ramp. And I do notice the water's running. I can see it trickling. So that's coming from 800 feet away. So it's always kind of risky setting up kind of a permanent setup like this in a farm you never grazed before, because you do something permanent, you go, well, geez, I didn't want it there, but I think I got it good where I divide this pasture up, graze the north, graze the south. They can get access to one watering hole. There's a valley there. It basically will be like 3 more separate pastures that I can also divide them up into, but then allow access through alleyways of polywire for another watering setup, maybe about 500 feet that way. We're going downhill, so it should do it. I anticipate the rubber matting probably getting pushed all over the place, but I don't know if this is too, I don't know if that's too slippery for them or they'll get used to it. We have to experiment with that. I guess I'm anticipating they're probably going to be pushing this around and folding it. If they push it in there, no big deal. I got unlimited supply. It's almost like if I had some gravel, put gravel on top of that. But I don't got a tractor over here right now. I'm doing this whole farm with no equipment, you know, not bringing any equipment, doing everything by hand. Just because I got my equipment at other locations. Sure, I could bring a skid steer over and all that. But by the time you haul a skid steer, loader, one of my loader tractors over, there haven't been a lot of posts I've had to put in, really. I've pounded most of these. The pounding, hand driving really works good on these small diameter posts. You know, it's a little bit of work on the larger diameter. There's a lot of work. But yeah, I'm getting excited about this watering hole here. So let's see how deep it is right by this ramp. Push them mats down. Man, it goes down. There's some water here. Whoa. Well, there's some water. Let me check the other side. Cow coming up here. Even right here, got some depth. Nice, good, cool water. Okay, so that's what I got. Nice little watering dugout. Can't see why it won't work. Definitely holding water. This is a 3 dead man's hillbilly brace. 3 posts driven together. Used a piece of dogwood as a twitter stick. Braced them together, pulled them in together. It's holding 4 strands of high tensile wire. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, decent tension on them. Ain't banjo tight or nothing, but I always leave some flexibility anyways for deer to hit them. And then I usually don't use insulators on the black locust. They're so dense, they really don't conduct much. But I separated it from this gate that I made.